Testing. Everything should be okay now. Testing. Everything should be okay, I believe. Everything should be fine now. So thank you guys for joining in. Alright, so thank you guys for joining in at the live stream here at TrinFx. I really do apologize for the late start. I had some connectivity issues, but I think it's all resolved now, so we should be okay to go. So yeah, let's just get right into it, right? So some things that I'm looking at right now, currently still in this Euro USD position, and last night actually at 11:30, I think that would be like 10:30 for some of you out there if you're in America. Let's just take a quick look here. We had hold on, let me just take off this week. This is why I hate my FX book sometimes, because they do this weird thing here. It's just, I don't know, it's weird. Sometimes they load up properly, sometimes they don't. It's really weird. But last night we had, it's not showing up here, but last night we had AED interest rate. It came out at 3.6 from the previous 3.25%. It actually raised a bit, not by that much, 0.35%. So we had a rate hike increase. However, we saw sort of a bearish move on the 80. As you can see here, looking at the 80 pairs, we had this bearish movement. All right, and this is partly due to the expectation of interest rates coming out as is, right, at that 3.6%. So we saw that happen, and then we saw the markets take a negative tone with that news decision, interest rate decision, and currently we're seeing this sort of a strong downtrend, right? I was in a position up here, as you see, that did not hold, right? And the price continued pulling down. Now take a look here at the daily. I'm still very much interested in ADCHF for the long side, just to see price rally back up to the long side. So with that being said, taking a look at the daily and the 4-hourly, a good place for me to get into is somewhere right around here at the bottom of this move here. So at this point, what I'll be looking for in terms of entering this particular trade for trade setup would be to see some sort of support maintenance right here, right? We'd like to see a support creation right around here. Currently this move is still continuing, so for me to enter long on this, first thing first, what I want to see is some sort of something telling me that this move is basically, the momentum is basically fading away. All right, and for me to know that, I'll have to see that support formation first. From, if not this candle here, we want to see a pullback, a wick rejection, and then see on the other candle sort of a formation right into this level, and then some bullish candle formation, right? If we could see the candle push above this area here, then I think more than likely we should get a continuation back up to the starting of this move, which will be somewhere right around here. Right, so this would be a possible trade setup to go long, something like this. So this is a possible trade setup I am looking to actually get into once we see price peak back above this area here. That means that we'll have a sort of support maintenance at this level, and at that point the momentum is fading and a possible turnaround in price. So that's what I'm waiting on to see for this to actually enter long, back to the upside, because I do think we can get a swing all the way back up to this level up here. So this is sort of the next card trade I'm looking to get into, possibly. All right, So thank you for joining in. If you're hearing me, let me know. Please, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. So if you're hearing me, let me know. Something else that I'm looking forward to is possible USD sells. All right, now this is the thing, right? Sorry, this is the thing. We have Fed Chair Paul coming to speak, testify. I actually have to double check this because it says that yeah, but something with my FX books, sometimes they have the right data and sometimes they don't. So I like to double check it right now actually, because something that happens a lot of the time, I see some Canadian news coming up, and it just always moves a day after, right? So it's really annoying because sometimes they have the right stuff and sometimes they don't. Okay, so yeah, here was the AD cash rate, right? This was the interest rate decision. We got that move up, that bump up, by 0.25%. And we have, right, Fed Chair Paul speaking at 11 a.m. right? So we have Fed Chair Paul come in and speak, and on the Wednesday, I believe he's there to speak again, right? On the Wednesday at 11 a.m. he has to speak again, and then we have the cash rate for the Canadian dollar. So that's something to look forward to as well, right? So we have some stuff coming up for Wednesday too, very high impactful news. So in terms of the USD, I'm still bearish on the dollar right now still, even though currently we are seeing, that AD USD bullishness. If we take a look here, overall on the DXY, we can see that we have this sort of bearishness happening right here, all this bearishness currently. So taking a look at the daily, right, and this is the DXY, the USD currency index. Yeah, it looks like price could continue moving downwards, right, back into this targeted level possibly. So at that point, I'm currently still very bearish on the dollar right now, right? Just to give you guys sort of a heads up as what to expect from me. This is what I'm looking at. In terms of my other trade setups, I'm looking to go long here, possibly hold it all the way up here. Once we do peak above this area here, yeah, I'm taking the longs for 2% risk. Your USD currently in profit, trying to see if we could ride this thing all the way down. Again, it depends on what sort of news we do get from Fed Chair Paul, what sort of what he says would affect the US dollar. But for now, I'm very confident in holding this to the short side right now, at least taking some profits and just letting it do what it wants. All right, and here we have it, the lovely JPY. All right, so looking for a possible trade setup on this, and I wish we entered. Everything was working fine. We were able to enter this for a possible sell. That's a lovely 39.40 pips move. Excuse me. Right, but taking a look on GBP JPY, we can see that price is currently ranging, right? We're dancing between these two areas right here, at the top and the bottom. Right, so price is currently being maintained in a range. Now, the thing is, are we going to peak out of this range and continue moving downwards? We can see that we have this nice bearishness, price pushing currently. Taking a look at the 30-minute. All right, take a look at the 30-minute and 15-minute time frame. Yeah, price is pushing pretty nicely to the downside. So, are we going to continue with this bearish movement, or are we going to just see this range continuation, this range being kind of filled out? Yeah, so we'll have to actually wait to see, right? One of the things that we could possibly expect is for price to just peak down into these areas and then recheck, coming back up, completing this range. Because right now we don't have any reason for, to say, but definitely that price may continue down in favor of the yen, right? In terms of news that we do have, we don't have anything up on the docket, so we can't say for sure that price is going to continue to the downside, even with this very bearish move right here. Alright, so at this point, I do think we could enter for a possible long setup completing this range, right? And this is just to go with the overall price action that we are seeing, rather than trying to make the assumption that, alright, at this point, price is going to continue moving down. Yeah, I think it'll be better to actually take a setup for a long continuation right around this area here, right? So we have price pulling back currently here, but we could peak back down into this level and then continue up. So some patience will be required here. All right, so if you're hearing me clearly, let me know. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, really not much happening right now. So besides this Euro USD trade, I'm also just really interested in seeing this pullback up for price to continue, because even though we did have that interest rate decision coming out pretty strong, we're seeing that that bearish tone, right? So let's take a look here at Forex Live. Some of the news that we're facing. This is all eyes on Powell's testimony right now. So how much of a dovish rate hike was this by the RBA? As statement as one of the less hawkish. Let's take a look at why. Alright, so these are some comments that we have here. Some retracted comments from what we saw in February and what we're currently seeing right now, which led to that AD bearishness, that sort of bearish tone that we are currently seeing. So as of right now, this bearishness could continue, right? But again, in terms of the price action, what I like to see at this point, just pull this up here, I like to see price actually pull back, peak above here. At that point, we could possibly get into the long situations, right? And this is just purely price action with a little bit of the fundamentals in place. Now, with this bearish 80 move, it doesn't necessarily mean a shift in tone completely, such as you can see here on NZD CAD, NZD CHF. So still sort of a bearish tone, right? So still sort of a bearish movement. However, yeah, not that bad in terms of, you know, when we have that 80 rate came out, we didn't see an increase in that bearishness, right? So sort of a marginal, not really much of a difference in movement. And for the USD stuff, not much too, right? This was one thing that I had here, continuation to downside here on USD JPY. You might actually see that happening. Right, nice. So JPY actually peaked down here, right? Instead of actually taking it all the way, you know, somewhere up here, we actually, you know, get into it at a better discounted area, right? So in terms of setups, for me, this is a likely scenario here. This is a setup for me. Now, one thing to note with this, right? this is a riskier setup here. Reason being because this bearish move here, we're seeing it across the board on the N pairs. However, here on JPY, we're still in a range, right? So we're noting that we're still in a range particularly. Now, for me to enter this, I am going to take an early entry right here with a 2% risk. However, you might want to be more conservative, right? So you might want to wait until price peaks maybe lower here to enter, right, on some sort of rejection, then a continuation. Now this is sort of like a for an impulsive pullback, right? So once we target into this area, we have 10 minutes to the candle close. We'll see how price chooses to continue. If we do push lower at this point, if we manage to move lower, right, I'll wait until price actually peaks back above here, right? If it manages to do that, then we just re-enter the trade for that continuation long. If not, then we were on the wrong side of this and price is going to continue moving lower. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. That's just how the markets are. The only thing you could do is just manage your risk properly, stick to your risk management, and do what works best for you in terms of your trading plan and strategy. And this is just something that works for me. So with that being said, I'm actually going to look to enter this right now, and we'll see how it plays out. Right, if we get on first try, yes. If not, then we look for a re-entry or a point of re-entry. Right, guys? So yeah, for anybody that if you're watching this, if not, then yeah, this is the trade setup that I'm looking to take. Right, so I just have to adjust because I'm using my phone right now to actually do everything in terms of the streaming and stuff. So I'm taking a 2% risk on this, right? So just a heads up. Where's my heads at? This is what I'm looking at to possibly achieve. But 2% risk on JPY. Share this with everybody. Alright, so JPY with a 2% risk. Let's see how price manages to play out here. So we have in this current pullback right now. And the USD looks like it might continue down, right? Excuse me, guys. LLA price may continue down, but at this point, this is a sort of an area to actually be sort of concerned about for rejection or see some sort of resistance from price to continue moving down. So at this point, you know, you look to take some of your positioning out and stuff like that. This is around, yeah, around 1.5%, somewhere there. My thing is with Fed Chair Powell coming to testify earlier to, well, later today, which is at 11 a.m., right? With Fed Chair Powell coming to testify, what he says will have a heavy impact on the US dollar. So you might want to be more conservative on any US dollar trades that you do have running or you do potentially look to get into, especially if you're trying to get in before the the comments that he has, the remarks he has to make, right? That is something that's very tricky and very risky to do. If it's within your risk management or whatever risk you set aside for yourself for the week, however you do trade, then so be it. But for me, I would say particularly in a case like that, it's better to wait afterwards because you never know what sort of remarks he may make. He might go back on his before bullish hawkish stance and you'll see a turnaround in the dollar sort of weakness, which is what I'm hoping to see here on AD USD. This was a earlier trade setup we was going to get into, but price never actually pushed back up, and as you can see, it continued moving down. So maybe this may come into fruition, but right now, not looking to rush anything, right, or call any predictions out, anything like that right now. All I'll do is just wait and see how price reacts into these certain levels and manages to play out. This here, wow, nice downtrend movement here on AD NZD. Really nice. Yeah, just wow, amazing. This is a very amazing sort of trend right here. No, like a very clean trend. This is something I'm not seeing as common these days. It's not as common, which is really interesting to actually see right now. Right, so let's see how this actually plays out. And I'm just looking for a continuation, like a sort of correction of this. We are seeing the yen pairs be very strong right now, so we'll see whether we get that correction or not, that correctional movement. GBP, right, sort of strong. This was a tracer we got into, we got out at that 2%. So I still haven't marked up as is, because I am looking for another possible go at this, depending. I'm just waiting right now. The GBP AD, right? This was a trade setup. We got into, got out. This was a 2% risk trade. GBP AD and GBP CAD are both trades I took at the same time with a 2% risk. One played out to 2%, which was the GBP CAD. This one failed, came out at 2% afterwards, right? And well, I was looking for re-entry on this, however, we didn't get triggered in. Price almost triggered me in, but I didn't get triggered in. And you see, that's pretty good, because then we just wicked all the way up here. And now we're currently pushing higher. I do think we could turn around at this point somewhere. But I'm not looking to call the tops, even though this is the top of the last resistance area here. I'm not looking to call any tops right now, so just waiting to see. But yeah, I do think we could get a turnaround, then price could continue lower and possibly come into this targeted area for 10%, right? So I'm waiting to kind of for price to kind of do its own thing and come back into this level, and if we can, then I'd like to see a continuation lower. But again, just waiting to see, not calling any tops. See, nice pullback here from price. We have 2 minutes on this hourly candle, and then we'll see what the next hourly candle does, if that pushes all the way down, or if we're gonna get that reversal bullish candle engulfing this candle entirely, and then towards the TP. Right, and if we could trend higher, that would be great, but we'll have to wait and see. Besides that, not much else going on right now. Markets, this is like the calm before the storm. We had our first storm, our first wave. Let me retry this here. It's like the page itself doesn't want to okay, nice. Alright, so yeah, this was like the first storm, right? And now we're at the calm. The first storm, it came and happened. We had that increase by 0.25%, and now we're just waiting for the next storm to pick up, right? Which is that Fed Chair Powell testimony. We have some AD news afterwards, but not really much happening, not really much taking place right now. And then Wednesday, tomorrow, we have some GDP numbers coming out, employment change, as well as again Fed Chair Powell coming up to speak at 11 once more, and interest rates. So a very heavy news day tomorrow. And we're seeing here the interest rate decision for the CAD is to remain the same. So that being said, we could see a dovish movement from the Canadian dollar, right? So something like this, we could actually look to see a long setup on 80 CAD, and I'm more interested in taking my longs and stuff on the risk asset currencies rather than something like maybe GBP CAD, stuff like that. Just because I like the movement a lot better, right? I just simply for myself, I just like the movement a lot better. They do get on the risk assets rather than, you know, Euro card, GBP card, stuff like that, USD card. It just, I don't know, it suits me better, so to speak, right? So that's why I would take my trade setup on these, whether it's for the, you know, I do get the best possible yields out of it. However, that might be a different case for other individuals. So with that being said, it's just what works for me, right? So I would be interested in actually longing that. Let's see, yeah, it's a price pullback down here, and we're just gonna see what this candle does. If we push all the way back down, or if we're gonna start seeing price trend up, right? So yeah, we could actually see a dovish move on the Canadian dollar. We'll see how that pans out. And besides that, Thursday, not much, more of a quiet day. We have interest rates for the yen, so that'll be bearish too. And then Friday we have NFP, and we also have some more CAD news, employment, unemployment change, and just NFP to really pay attention to right there. And we also have some GDP stuff too, but these are the main things here. NFP at 9:30, and the Canadian news for unemployment change. You can see employment change is actually at, you know, the consensus is very low from the previous. So we'll see what happens here, and that might boost the Canadian dollar, especially if it does come out higher than expected. The numbers here, anything above 10k would be really good, and especially if it rises above the previous. And for NFP, we could actually see that the consensus is 200k from the previous being 517k. So if this does come out as is or be lower, then that's bad for the dollar, and we'll see a bearish toe movement. Alright, but again, so wait and see what happens. So that's it currently. Nothing much else to pay attention to. Again, just waiting for this to peak above to actually enter long. And yeah, that's about it. JPY, leaving it, let it do its thing. Again, if price does get me out, if it pulls lower, comes to stop, then I'll just wait for it to come back into entry to take another gambit at it, to continue to the long and fill out this range, right? So I think that's it for me, guys. Not much else really going on right now. We did have a late start, and I do apologize for that. Moving forward, I would like to take better, well, I can't really do anything about the internet and connectivity issues, but I'll try to make a better effort to do everything more on time. That's within my capabilities to control. Alright, so thank you very much for joining in, really do appreciate it. If you found this interesting or, you know, informative, then please do leave a like. If not, help out the channel either way. A like really helps. And yeah, thank you. We'll see how this plays out. I'll update you guys, those who are in the Discord group. If you're not in the Discord group, then feel free to use the link provided in the description section to actually get, you know, into the Discord if this is something that you'll be interested in seeing more of. Alright guys, so thank you very much. See you next one tomorrow morning. Peace.